All right, so I'm Taz. It's really nice to meet you. We've been, sending emails for a while, so it's pretty
Yeah,
much
I'm
just a
sorry
thing.
the other guys couldn't be here right now. Like, I
Yeah.
was gonna do it at my bud's house, but he actually got sick today, so I had to
Oh, that's
figure
okay.
some stuff out.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it happens. All right, so the first kind of section is just about how your band came together and how you all met each other and when you started it up.
hmm All right, so I mean, originally it was formed, I'd say 2011, kind of. It was a little bit like when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I mean, that's we use the same name, so that's why I kind of you know, I kind of say it formed then. But it was basically just me at this point with like some other guys, and
Okay.
we played same kind of style. But then I don't know, I tried some other stuff for a while, and then finally 2015, I met our guitarist Prashant at we did this like similar like music production course. Yeah, and at first like we didn't really like each other, which was kind of funny. But he was just like I was just like, who's this guy, man? Like I don't like him. And then because I met him on the first day, and he's like talking about like intervals and stuff, I'm like, oh. But I was like into that stuff at the time, so I'm like, okay. So by the end of it, we were like besties. So we kind of just like, all right, let's do something. And I'd been wanting to do because I was really into like metal kind of
Okay.
stuff for a while, or well, the more like new progressive kind of stuff. Right now it's like really like, technical, but then I'm like, you know what? I've been like into like this pop punk emo stuff for like my whole life, so I gotta do what I feel. So and he was into that too, which is ironic because we were both into the exact same things. So that kind of started. Bass player Anthony, I've known my whole life pretty much since like grade one. It was kind of just like a hey man, you play bass, let's just do it. And then more recently, we had our drummer Tyler back about 6 or 7 months ago. I think we just kind of knew each other from like same bands in the kind of like local shows and stuff. And we're like, hey man, you want to play drums for us? He's like, yeah. So that's kind of how it all started. It started 2015. Tyler joined in 2016. So
Nice.
yeah.
And what about yourself personally? When did you start getting into singing and that kind of stuff?
I've been doing it for like a good amount of time, I'd say, for my like I don't know, for my interest at least. Like I started playing guitar for a while, but I never really knew like I wanted to like sing or anything. So I started playing when I was like 12, and that was like 8, 9 years ago. But then when I was 14, I started taking vocal lessons, and I forget why. I think I just wanted to like play in a band or something like that, honestly. So I was just like, hey, I'm gonna take vocal lessons, or I wanted to like sing stuff like The Fray. That's like I
Right.
think
Yeah.
I don't know why I really like that stuff. So I'm like, because I was having trouble singing. I don't think I was ever really like a natural singer. And I do remember a time when I was like in elementary school and like the music teacher would pull me out of the choir and say, hey, like, can you like, check your note, bro? And I'm
Oh
like, ah,
no.
so like I was just like never really naturally good at it. So I'm like, you know what, I need some lessons. So I started when I was 14. So I've been singing 6, almost 7 years now,
Nice.
and only like as of the last 2 years I've been like really like focusing on it and like working hard towards it. So
Nice. Yeah, with that story, like, because I listened to the new EP you guys have, I could not tell that you would have any problem with your singing at all. So it's cool that
yeah, if
you.
if it was like 3 or 4 years ago, it'd be a different story. And I'm sure anybody who heard like the first few demos from back when we started, they're kind of it's cringeworthy in a sense, and I can't even like stand it. And I'm
Oh
like,
no.
dude, like sing. Yeah, but we're here now and we're good to go.
Nice. All right. So, can you tell me a bit about where your band name came from? Did one of you just have it in your back pocket, or did you come up with it together?
I'd have to say it's a little blurry because the year was probably 20 ended 2010 or early 2011, and I honestly forget like how it came up with it. I do remember though it was at first something blah 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 May crash or something like that, or something May season, and then it turned into like in case we may crash or some shit. And I'm like, that doesn't sound as like fluent, so we just somehow came with it. And like I mean, because like the band like it was like so young, we weren't gonna like be together forever. But so like I had like other bands, other names, whatever, and then coming back to this at the end of like our school program, just like because we're like, oh, what's our name? I'm like I don't need. I was just so comfortable with the name, so I'm like, let's just use that name, and it's stuck. It's just I'm just comfortable with it because there's so many bands I was in that where I hated the names. I'm just like, this is embarrassing. I can't even like tell somebody that's our name. So I'm glad that we are comfortable with our name at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely something that helps for sure. What was your first show as a group like? Do you remember how you guys did together as your first like performance with a audience?
It was unexpected. I feel we've had like because I've been playing shows since like I was like back 14, 15, and almost 99 point. Well, I'd pretty much say every single one was to like very small crowds.
Yeah.
So I've gotten used to just that kind of reception up until that point. But so we played our first show in March of last year, so 2016, and it was like part of like a youth focused event, I think, and they were just starting it out too. So that was like the promoter's first time doing those specific youth shows, and it was at the Revival Bar, which is just like it's a beautiful place. And like I didn't really know what it was gonna be like, so I expected at most maybe like 30, 40 people, but like we were still excited to do it because it was our first show, and we're like, and the dude like hit us up, so but it turned into like 120 people or something like that, and it was actually our bass player's first show like ever. And we're like, you're a lucky guy because I've been playing dozens of shows to like 10 people for like years, and this guy his first show gets to play like 100 people. So, but it was pretty fun. Like it was a little weird because like we didn't know most of the people there except for like a small group who was here to sit there to see us, and there's like bands from our high school, etc., or my high school specifically that I did know. Other than that, we didn't know a lot of people, so it's nice because we've been kind of like developing more of like a friend community and like kind of like a local support these days.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. So could you tell me a bit about the EP that you just sent me in the email? Like, what are your inspirations behind it? Do you have any favorite songs? Tell me about it.
Well, we've been working on it for quite a while, and it feels like we're really glad to get it out finally. But the first song off the EP is probably like one that kind of like glued us together in a sense, because I wrote it at the end of like that like college program I did with like where I'm the guitarist, and that was kind of like the formation of the idea, because I just had the song in my head basically, and I'm just like I just want to get it out there and just like create that, and it just kind of like, you know what, I actually want to do this. It wasn't like such a serious thing at the point. It wasn't like, oh, this is gonna be my band, this is gonna be whatever. So I kind of just like everything kind of formed around that song. And then, we started to add on. So that's one of our favorites just because, like, we've been playing it for, like, almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know. I think it really, like, nailed what I wanted to be doing to start off this. But other than that, like, I was really inspired by the story so far, first of all. Those guys, like, got me back into the whole pop-punk thing when their last, like, album came out in 2015. I remember when that, like, released. And I'd heard a bit of them, like, a year before, maybe. But I was never like super into them. But that came out, and I'm like, you know what, this is what I gotta do. So that's what inspired that song, and then the rest were kind of like they came within like months of each other. Actually, I'm gonna mention the song "Carry On." That one I wrote back when we were like originally like Incase We Crash, like 2011. So I was like a 15-year-old kid at that time. So that one's like special too in a sense, because it's like I've been singing that, or I've had that song in my head for like 6 years now, so it's kind of funny. And other than that, yeah, the other songs just kind of like happened, and we're just glad to like get them out there, get people listening to them, and kind of like get comfortable with how people respond to it and stuff like that.
Awesome. And when is it going to be released publicly?
So the date we have right now is August 17th, and there'll be like some videos to follow that, and hopefully like just a few small runs in Ontario, maybe like a month later. So yeah, we're pretty stoked for that.
All right. So do you have any shows booked currently, or you're waiting till the EP comes out?
We do have a show that's actually like 3 days before the release, so that's
Okay.
August 14th. We're pretty stoked for it because we're playing with like some of our friends too, like some really sick bands. Because that took a while to like get us to play with like our friends and like bands that we actually really like. We weren't really doing that for a while, but now like we're really stoked. We're playing with Goldfinch, who's like, they're from Waterloo. They're like more like emo, kind of post grungy, and they're like really sick guys. We're playing with this dude Corbin, who plays in the band Rarity, and he's got his own little solo thing. It's really like very angsty, right, and very like, I don't know, just very like to like the roots of like emo, but like it's solo, so it's very unique. I like it. And then there's another guy who's like, he's from Brampton, I believe, and his name's Kai, and he's got his own solo project called Love Overnight, and that's also really cool. It's very like pop punk, but it's acoustic, and kind of like it throws back to me like I used to like what was it? Well, I did like Never Show Never for a little bit, like way back like in high school, but it's kind of like that, but like way more emo and like just like way more in tune with what's going on right now. So like I'm really stoked to be playing with all the bands that we're doing. So that's the 14th at Smiling Buddha.
Okay.
It's gonna be I think it's gonna be in the basement this time. I'm not sure, but check out our Facebooks for that event update. Should be fun.
Okay. Awesome.
Oh, and I believe it's 19 plus. So
okay.
It's a little fun. We do have a lot of like younger kids who want to come see us, and I'm really trying to get like an all ages show sometimes for that. But for now, it's 19 plus.
Right. Awesome. So I'm going to change topics just for a bit, just for some more fun questions. So this question would have been fun to answer as a band, but since I just got you, it's still going to be fun also. If you could meet one musician or band, who would it be and why?
Okay, do you want to ask this to me currently or me like high school like fanboy?
Both is fine.
Okay, I mean if you asked me this question when I was in high school, I'd probably say Adam Luzera of Taking Back Sunday. That dude was like my idol for a while. But like more currently, I'm really like getting into like just the whole aesthetic and like vibe of the 1975. So if I met Maddie from the 1975, that'd be pretty sick. I just like talk to him. He seems like a cool guy, so I just want to like get to know him and see how they got their stuff started. Because they used to be like a pop punk band too, apparently. I mean, it's a bit drastic of a change, but just I'm very curious to hear what he has to say about it. So.
Awesome. All right. What would you say that your biggest challenge has been as a band during the time that you've been together?
There hasn't been anything like too serious, but it's more like we've encountered a lot of like flops in a sense. Like our first music video shoot for that first song, Straight to the Head, we did it like more than a year ago, but we weren't really happy with how it came out, and like we did, invest in the budget, and then we've been having like just like small issues here and there with like simple stuff where it just takes like a few months to get stuff back to us. Same thing with like the mixes we had for EP, because I actually did this all myself, and like I wasn't really comfortable with how they first came out, like the whole mixes and stuff. So I had to go back and just do everything again, and we met a lot of like setbacks, and like same thing, we had to change drummers, which took like a few months to get it used to. So, but like I'm really glad we've had those setbacks, because like once you get used to having this kind of stuff, like you get through it faster, and now we're on like a real good pace where we're kind of like comfortable at the rate we're going, and we're kind of like picking up a little bit, keeping things moving. Yeah.
All right. So I just have two more questions for you.
Sure.
One of them is, if you could give advice to bands just starting out today, what would you tell them?
Mainly is like get in touch with like your local scene / community, because like it's really important to like make friends and just like get to know what people are doing around you, and like, just like who your fans could be, or fans / friends could be, what they would want to see, and just like how to capture their attention in a sense. Because like I know like us personally, when we started, we were playing any show that was like given to us pretty much, or because I don't know why, we just started, and people just week after week, they was like, hey, want to play here, want to play here. We just said yes to everything, and we did play with some cool bands, and we made some like friends through that. But like a lot of time, we could have like kind of like sat back and been like, are we really gonna like gain anything from playing this? Sometimes we play out of town for like 5 people, and it was a little bit stressful. But then like once in a while, we made some really good friends last summer. This band coming from Texas came over, and like they're called Sinakura, and they like, it was just like weird. We were gonna play one show with them, but we got added to the show they had in Hamilton as well. So they kind of just like they crashed in my basement, and we just like hung out, showed them Toronto for a while, and like just had a good experience. So like yeah, especially just like have a good time when you're young and make friends, because like if you guys are all working on something together, like this band here, this band here, this band here, if you guys just work together on like achieving stuff, you'll pick each other up. Before you know it, you'll have like a group of people around you who are constantly just like improving each other and getting more people out to your shows, getting more like merch sales, doing all the stuff you need to do to really like establish yourself. And like we're still working on that ourselves, but we finally, over the last few months, we kind of felt like we're receiving a little more than we had been. in terms of the effort that we were putting into it back when we started. So yeah.
Nice. And did you ever have any challenges like finding your sound, or did it just come naturally?
Um, like I'd say like not really because personally like I write most of this stuff and I'd been like I'm just like really into like I just listened to so much music in high school that was like it made sense once I actually looked at it saying like this is what I want to do. So I stopped thinking about like what I was like trying to do and just did, right? Like I liked Under Oath a lot, like early Under Oath. Well like like they're only chasing safety, which is a little more like poppy sound for their whole like they're like kind of like a little more hardcore. But Taking Back Sunday was one. And then once I started to hear like the new kind of like wave of pop punk, I'm like it kind of threw me back to like when I was like 8 or 9 years, even younger, like 7 years old, being into bands like Simple Plan, Sum 41, Billy Talent, all those, like classic,
Yeah.
it just kind of made sense after a while. I'm like, you know what, this is what I should be doing with my time and life. So,
All right. Awesome.
yeah.
So, how can people that are interested in your music find your music? What's the best way for them to do it? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter?
Well, we're trying to get like pretty solid on all of those right now. So
Okay.
once the EP comes out, it should be on, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Play, all that stuff. But I'd say like the bet if you want to like be in touch on like everything we're doing in
Yeah.
terms of like doing contests, we've got some like funny videos that come out sometimes, and also just like music videos. Both our Facebook and our Instagram are like our top things. So Instagram.com, like it's just in case we crash. Same thing with Facebook. And if you want, you could follow us on like Twitter or something. But we're more like we really like Instagram these
Yeah.
days. Why it's just pretty fun. Just works well. And Facebook is just like a standard thing for bands. Plus,
Yeah.
like everybody we know in the scene uses it, and we can like see what our friends are doing and see what shows they're playing. So like us on Facebook, Instagram, and come out to our show August 14th, Smiling Buddha. It'll be a fun time.